Hello my polygonal friends. Today we are going to be talking about YouTube's strangest ARG, that being hiding in my home. Let's begin. Video 1, Nightmare Simulation. The first video starts off with text saying, "Simulation of a nightmare I had last night," followed by our protagonist walking towards this thing, and then this happens. Then, the cameraman turns to face it, ending the video. The description reads, "Simulation of my nightmare. Please don't ask me for context surrounding the dream, as it makes dreams more likely to reoccur if I talk about them awake." Also, the final second of the video appears to be in a basement. Weird. Video 2, Blue Barrel. This next video is strange, to say the least. The video starts off with our protagonist taking videos of his backyard. Then, it shows us our protagonist looking out of the blinds. Then, he captures someone walking past the fence. More shots of random objects appear before cutting to the blue barrel, before rushing into his house. Then, the video ends with flashing lights and what seems to be a person. The description reads as, "Something I've been trying to figure out for a long time now is why that's there. But it's not empty, and if it is, supposedly that's not good. Lucky it's closed, so I can go visit it every so often. I just need to make sure I don't get strange looks from people nearby. Sometimes I feel like the blue barrel is the only thing keeping me going. It's just hard not going anywhere, you know? Strange looks from people nearby. What's keeping him from not going anywhere?" Video 3, Afternoon. This video starts off with a still frame of a door looking out to the outside, with strange ambiance in the background. Then, two symbols appear out the window. One blue teardrop and one red teardrop. You can also see a shadow figure in the window of the door. Before this happens, I don't even know how to explain that. Maybe the description will tell us some more information. This video I filmed in the afternoon through the door. It looked nice. Always does, but this time especially. So I thought it deserved its own video. It's hard sometimes. I get blue, then I get red. I tried to communicate that feeling in one video and some other things. I know nobody is watching. It makes me sad sometimes. It would be better if someone did. Then they would know what's happening and they could try to help. I don't want anyone to talk to me. It's more. It's really beautiful outside. Why can't I just go out there? Well, I did yesterday. Video 4, Don't Talk Too Loudly. This fourth one doesn't have as much to talk about as the last two, but I'll still give you the rundown. This video mostly contains our protagonist whispering to himself, with the audio cutting out at random points.
They want to chase me, they want to follow me.
The end of the video shows him grabbing a ladder and looking for someone or something. The description says, "I can't talk too loudly. Nobody else is around, of course. But someone might come if I'm too loud. They'll come from far away to get me." Now this next part is a secret, and I'm still figuring out. But I'm not actually sure if they are really people. Maybe I should just use text like in the first video. Feels like I'm not really talking to you if I do that though. What does he mean by not actually sure if they are real people? Video 5, a positive. POV. Overwatch 2 players trying to touch Grace for the first time. The video starts off with our first look at our protagonist, but his face has been blurred out. And the video consists of him walking around and laying down, with this noise in the background that I can only describe as bones rattling. The description says, "Some things I can only film at night, but that's okay. My sleeping allows for it." It's hard to play every character. I have to be happy, and I have to be sad, and I have to switch between the two often. But the editing is fun. It's my favorite part. I'll spend hours on it. That helps me escape from the real problems. They're still after me. I won't let them find me if I can help it. I'm good at making myself scarce. I always have been. One thing I find weird. What does he think is following him? What is following him? Anyways, next one. Video 6, last night. This video begins with our protagonist doing something all gamers wish they could. That being going outside. With the caption saying, "I've been walking lately, despite the dangers outside, and it's been freeing in a way. I can't speak though, even in a whisper. That's too risky." Implying someone can hear him if he talks too loud, just like previous videos. Then he asks, "Am I being vague?" I have to be. Then he is worried because he thinks he's being followed by someone. But it's okay. He made it back home safe. The video ends with him looking around before going back inside. The description says, "This is something I filmed last night," hence the title. You see, I've been going on walks for a while. I thought it wouldn't be a very good idea, for reasons I explain in the video the best I can. But you have no idea how isolating it's been. Being in my position, it takes a toll on me. I had to get out. Honestly, it's been making me think of how I used to be able to live so far today. It's made me sad. Even though it made me feel liberated yesterday, I may not do it again until I can handle the psychological fallout. Walking around, wondering if I might meet someone or something. It was a rush. Even just the once. I'm safe though, and that's what matters. So our protagonist thinks walking around outside was dangerous. Even though he felt liberated, he won't do it again because it was quote unquote too risky. So you could hear footsteps. That's weird. Video 7. Contemplating sadness, terror, and ostracization. This video is probably the most normal video yet. It mostly just has birds eating out of a bird feeder. That is, until the 1 minute mark where this happens. The video has a blue blob in the middle with text saying, "How do I open you?" This is most likely referring to the blue barrel. A few seconds after, it also shows a white flashing teardrop with the text saying, "How do I close you?" I don't know what this one means exactly. Maybe the blue barrel too, but I don't know. Then the last 4 seconds show the text, "God, please help me." What's also interesting is that the white teardrop is the channel watermark, the thing that's in the bottom right corner of most videos. Description time. The description says, "During the times recently when I was taking walks and getting outside of my house on occasion, I felt great liberation, but it was fleeting. Looking at the birds, they can move anywhere they want to, whenever they want to. I can't." So this supports my idea that the protagonist wants to be free from his house, but he knows he can't. Then he says, "That reality has been weighing on me. I was followed last time I walked, and it's a mystery to me whether or not I might have been attacked if I made a false step. Horror that will become terror in time. More evidence to my theory. How is one to conduct himself when he has a responsibility whose fulfillment might lead to nothing good? A chance, a hope. That's all my life is built atop." Then he says this, the barrel, the barrel, the barrel, the barrel, the barrel. It's consuming me." This man's curiosity of the blue barrel is taking over his mind. All I can think about now is that barrel. I wonder what could be in it. Video 8. The Apparitions. This video starts at night, with our protagonist sitting in his garage thinking things over. While thinking to himself, for a brief moment you can see a face right outside the window. After this, he thinks he hears something, so he rushes to turn off the lights. Then the captions read, "This was on my property," which has been rare up to this point. The captions play over a video of him looking around trying to find the noise he heard. Then he says, "I think I need to spend more time in this house," but he just couldn't be sure what was out there. Then he says he stayed away until morning. Then he rushes back into his house, looking out the window to make sure nothing is out there. But nothing is. Then he goes on to talk about the face I talked about earlier. And saying how, "I didn't imagine hearing something. Someone was really out there." Before pointing out, he noticed some more things, like pointing out the footsteps we talked about in last night, and apparently someone visibly walking close to him. I'm gonna play the clip and tell me if you see anything in the comments, because I literally do not see anything for the life of me. Then he ends off the video by saying, I still don't know who or what these apparitions are exactly, or if they're hostile, but I fear the worst, and they're getting closer. Along with screenshots of a conversation he had with someone else. Let's see what those had.
Say something concrete about your situation.
Concrete? How? I know I'm being vague, but there's a reason.
Those footsteps sounded obviously vague.
With text saying, to anyone claiming I'm untrustworthy, I can't make you see the truth. The description says, this documents the events of last night and what I came to discover upon inspecting this morning. The apparitions around me of late disturbs me pretty thoroughly. As you can imagine, I'm not feeling good about this. I didn't want to have to retreat, but it looks like it would be the best for me to spend more time in the house. It's for my own safety. As unsettled as I am, I'm going to continue uploading. In fact, I've been recording more over the last few days, since I've started to feel the danger more acutely. Most of the footage is boring, of course, but I'm sure I'll continue to capture some things that are of note. And I'm going to keep making these videos regardless. It's cathartic to me. Therapeutic. I need that at the moment. And then he ends it off by saying, as for the end of this video, some people have contacted me over my Twitter account and told me they don't believe I'm really in danger. They think I'm fabricating this, which could not be further from the truth. So our protagonist is getting contacted by people saying he isn't in any real danger, but apparently that's not true. Video 9. Windstorm Fortress. This video starts off with shots of the outside before cutting to someone in a blue shirt. Very similar to the red shirt guy we saw in one of the previous episodes, so can't wait to see yellow shirt guy. Then we see our protagonist sitting on a bed with a cat. Then there are shots of the basement before cutting to him talking to himself. I would tell you what he's saying, but it sounds like he put his microphone in a vat of acid, so I really can't.
Of course, I have to open the barrel, that's the point, but none of you have any idea the thinking, planning, strategizing that go into it. None of you have any idea, and if you think I'm lying.
But I believe he's talking about a plan of some sort. Still really can't tell because of the whole Call of Duty microphone he's got. Ending the video with him standing next to a door looking into the darkness. Description time. Again. So he starts off by saying, as I mentioned in the last video, my plan was to stay in my house as much as possible from that point forward. This video sees that plan put into action, I suppose. I know that I'm unsure of the exact nature of those things / people watching me, but I'm not ready to confront them. Honestly, a confrontation is probably inevitable. It's hard to face that fact though. Don't you understand that? I know you're curious on some level. I am too. But this is my safety we're talking about. It's hard to just willingly put myself in danger. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Again, I address the people who are skeptical of me. I'm not doing this to give you all the answers. you want. If you get them, you get them. It's up to chance. I'm in very real, palpable danger. I have no idea if explaining things in as much detail as possible is hazardous. I don't want to find out. Then he goes on to thank all the people who are sticking with him, ending the video. Video 10. It's not my fault. This is where it gets very interesting. This video starts off with our protagonist on the floor while we hear the missed voicemails he has gotten. They are from his doctor. His doctor says our main guy has been missing his sessions, how the doctor and him should really talk again.
First unheard message.
Hi there, it's Dr. I'm just checking in since you didn't come in for your appointment today. I know a few weeks ago you had to take Sherman to the vet, so if it's a related reason this time, I hope everything's okay. If you'd like to reschedule, I could have you on Thursday at 3:30. Again, hope all is good. Bye now.
Save.
One thing that is interesting is how the doctor mentions that he has improved on his troubling thought patterns.
You know this, but I've been genuinely happy with you the last couple of months, and I think you've greatly improved your own outlook. Becoming as adept as you have at recognizing troubling thought patterns is no small feat. It's not worth it to risk backsliding, so please, give me a call back when you can. Hope to hear.
Another thing that's interesting is the Shadow Man over here from the hit show Courage the Cowardly Dog. Then we see an image of most likely our main guy standing under a light while this text is shown. He looms under the foundation. Invisible. Detectable. As for death, I find it a more remote danger. So for the first part of this poem, I think this is referring to our main guy. He's hiding under the foundation, basement, invisible but detectable. He is trying to hide from whatever is trying to follow him. But the second part is the interesting part. If we are to believe that the first part is referring to our protagonist, but the latter half I'm not too sure about. The last part of this video is our main guy looking out the window, repeatedly seeing 3 different colored circles. One red, one purple, and one gray. Now I was thinking, oh, these circles must be referencing the colored teardrops. But these aren't the same colors, so they might be referencing the teardrops, but I can't say it's 100% a reference. Description time might give us a few more answers. It says, I'm continuing to stay inside. I haven't even gone outside in, I think, 5 days. I still feel them approaching. I don't know. I can't know. I worry what will happen, but I won't submit to them if it's what they want. I'll suffer more if necessary. I don't know what I did to deserve all this. I'm making this video to tell you that these things, this situation, I didn't cause it. And now I have to miss get-together appointments. Things I would have otherwise enjoyed and found helpful. Do I deserve this? Video 11. Lay me down to sleep. Okay, so this video starts out like this. With what I think is a camera, one person in front of the camera, a person to the side of the camera, and a third person laying on the floor. Now I could, and probably are, completely wrong about this, but I don't really have any other ideas of what this could be. Then it cuts to our main character looking around his garage, looking at some random things like a trash can, couch, a bike, probably most importantly, the blue barrel. Before looking around at the ceiling and then cutting to the outside. Our main guy is looking around outside, making sure no one is watching him, then ending the video off by looking at a metal stick for some reason. Now, that's not any metal stick, that is a railroad spike. Alright, description time, everybody. I've locked everything. I don't know what they are. I don't know what they are. I don't know what they want. They're so close. Last week, I was bolstered, confident to face them. Now that prospect looms. I'm scared. I'm a coward. I don't know what to do. I either have to run away or combat them. They're powerful. They're going to get in. It's inevitable. There's nothing to do for it, so why worry? Isn't that how I should think? I have nothing to do but pace around, looking out windows, checking the locks. What if I see one right outside my window in the middle of the night? My only hope is that if they heard me, I can upload one last video with evidence of them doing it. I need closure. So, yeah. That's all for video. That's all for this one. Let's head on to the next one. Video 12. Unsimulated Nightmare. This video might be one of the most intense yet. We see our main guy sitting in his garage. We then see someone walk past the window. But not so luckily for our main guy, he doesn't appear to see it. So without knowing someone is outside, he has no time to react as the door opens. It cuts to our main guy, panicking, while text pops up saying, "One of them found me, and it was hostile." Then it cuts to him panicking more, before he tries to open the blue barrel once more. Unsuccessful, he goes to find a place to rest. As he rests, we can see that he's covered in his own blood. He stands back up, looks around to make sure no one else is there. He rushes into his house, grabbing some keys he uses to get into the shed. Text appears on screen. I could have run away completely, but I didn't. Then he sits down, more text popping up next to him. I'm so close. I can open it. I just need the right moment. Just a little more time. The video turns completely dark. The only thing left is the chirping of crickets before a wall of text saying, "Please," along with footsteps ending the video. Now, I'm not going to read this all out, but if you want to pause here. But the crazy thing is, here's what I found in the description. Random letters are capitalized. These letters are I, T, S, H, A, P, P, E, N, E, D, A, N, D, T, H, A, L, R, E, S, N, O, T, H, I, N, G, Y, O, U, C, A, N, D, O. It's happened, and there's nothing you can do. Also, credit to Sushi for pointing that out, helping me figure out what it said. I think, edit. I was thinking that me and Sushi were so big-brained that, we figured this out, that no one ever thought of it, but John Doe 1 in the comments figured it out 2 years ago, so thanks, John. Video 13. So 13 starts off with our main guy seemingly unscrewing the blue barrel, trying again to open it. But before he fully can, there are 2 flashing lights, one red and one blue. As soon as our main guy sees this, he just starts booking it, running away as more red and blue lights appear. Then he makes his way down the street, now walking on the road. Passing a house he focuses on before continuing on. Then our main guy finds himself in the forest, still covered in blood. He sits alone. The one place he was safe in has now been compromised. With nowhere else to go, our main guy walks deeper into the forest. Throughout the video, there are some random dots, red and blue. Description time. The description is filled with over 50 13s. Then it has a bunch of arrows pointing to a bunch of zeros. Some people think they are sunflowers, or that they are representing something, but I really can't tell. My best guess is maybe they are representing the trees that surround him now. But your guess is as good as mine. Video 14. If you've been watching the videos on this channel.
If you've been following this channel for the past 2 months, I urge you to watch this. It is important that you know exactly what you've been watching in that time. The truth about the videos many of you have been enjoying. My name is Anthony, and I will relay this information in the way that I experienced it myself.
This is Anthony. His little brother Jordan has gone missing. There are no signs of Jordan anywhere.
He had gone to play outside, just in our backyard, and he never came back in. That afternoon, our parents and I searched for him out there and couldn't find him. After half an hour of searching, we called the police. They helped us search our property even more thoroughly, and then the whole neighborhood. It's been almost 2 weeks, and the police haven't been able to find Jordan. But what they did find was in the shed attached to our small standalone garage. It was film equipment. Not much, no actual camera, but a tripod and 2 small but professional cinema lights. There were no fingerprints on them.
The camera equipment seems familiar. Seeing the equipment, Anthony became curious. He didn't think he would find anything by searching it up on YouTube, but he just at least had to give it a try. Before stumbling onto our little channel, Hiding in My Home.
This little YouTube channel has documented someone staying on mine and my family's property for 2 months, undetected, and eventually murdering my 7-year-old brother and fleeing the police.
That wasn't our main guy's blood. That was Jordan's blood. Anthony goes on to show comparisons of the videos in real life. His street, one of the garages, the blue barrel, the basement, the living room, Anthony's parents' bedroom. This wasn't our main guy's house. It never was.
My brother, here he is fleeing as the police arrived that night. Look closely at the lights. He slipped right by them, just as they got to my house.
Those colors, blue and red, they were the police. Anthony goes on to explain how only one person ever saw him roaming the house, and that was Jordan.
I don't think he could have possibly spent all this time on our property. It's not like we never went into the garage or basement, but he was clearly there often, and we never ever saw him. No one. Except Jordan. At the end, of course.
Anthony then goes on to point out how our main guy was sloppy while editing. Yeah, he blurred out his face, not the rest of his head. Then, Anthony finds this.
I looked through the online records of people at large or missing in my home state. That is Hollis Coogan, a 23-year-old citizen of a town about 20 minutes away from mine. Just look at him. It's the same person, no doubt. No doubt in my mind at all.
Now, we got a name for our mystery man. Mr. Hollis James Coogan, but I'll just be calling him Hollis. Anthony then says how Hollis really doesn't have any presence on the internet other than this YouTube channel and Twitter. Or I'm sorry, X. Anthony comments on how obsessed Hollis got with the blue barrel.
That blue rain barrel that's been behind my garages for as long as I can remember, that thing seemed to intrigue Hollis for some damn reason. Enough that he represented it with a shitty little symbol sometimes. And that doesn't seem to be the only thing. But that's where I'm going to start. I don't know if this needs to be said, but my parents do not know about this. Nobody does. Except me. I'm not gonna... My parents are still holding out hope that Jordan will be found. That he'll come back to them. They are not going to know what happened until I have the person responsible at my mercy. Then I'll go to the police. Then I'll tell.
Description time again. I'm not sure what the general consensus has been as to what's been going on in these videos, but this is the real explanation. I hope that it doesn't upset you as much as it's upset me, but it's the truth. Expect more in the future. It is essential that I find this person, and I will not stop pursuing him until I locate him. Jordan found him, and now I'm going to. If you have any information about him, please don't hesitate to let me know in the comments or on the Twitter account. The truth is, you all knew Hollis better than I do, at least a little bit. You may have interacted with him online. If there's something revealed, something he said to any of you that can be of help, I need to know about it. Beyond that, if any of you have figured out solutions to some of the codes Hollis embedded in his videos, it would be important for me to know about that too. Anthony ends off the description by saying, thank you. Video 15. Big mistake. This video starts off with flashing squares, which I think makes a picture of a face. I can't be 100% sure because of how fast they flash. Then, this text flashes on screen. Just try and silence me. Before soon after showing it again. Just try and silence me. But two words cover up silence in me, and now just reads, try and find me. The video ends with the flashing squares on a black image. Description time, Shorts edition. There's only one sentence in the description this time. Everyone is against you. Video 16. Opening the barrel. This one seems interesting. Anthony starts off the video by saying that he did not make the last video. Anthony then says how he also doesn't care, and how Anthony still knows what Hollis did. Hollis was just mocking Anthony. Nothing more, nothing less.
But, you see, I don't care either. I know what he did. And that may as well have been a confession. He didn't feign ignorance. He just mocked me. So, if he wants to leave me anything that will give me clues to his intent or his whereabouts, that's fine with me. So go ahead, Hollis. Mock me.
Anthony goes on to talk about the symbols that have been scattered throughout the past 15 videos.
There are two that
One
really aren't very
signifies the
subtle.
blue barrel,
Two symbols have
the other
appeared
isn't that
repeatedly in these
as
videos.
clear. That one being the white teardrop. Anthony goes on to explain how Hollis was obsessed with the blue barrel. Hollis tried so hard to open it, and so how Anthony does open it. And after all this time, we finally figure out what is in the blue barrel.
Okay, well, this looks like old water to me. I hope you can see that clearly on the camera. It's old water, definitely full of algae. I mean, there doesn't seem to be... There's nothing else inside. Nothing. I mean, I didn't think there would be anything, but still. Why then? What did he want to get in here for?
There's nothing in there.
Think what? Nothing.
Nothing at all.
Anthony then goes on to talk about the white teardrop, but he doesn't really come up with anything other than pointing out the words that go alongside the white teardrop. How do I close you? Anthony goes on to say he will figure out what the white teardrop means, and he will find where Hollis is. Description time 2. Escape to Mexico. Well, where this leaves us in regard to the blue barrel, I guess I'm not sure. But trust me, when I tell you, I'm not disheartened. We're going to continue our investigation. It'll only end when Hollis is caught. The significance of this barrel will surface at some point, I promise you. The other symbol, the more cryptic of the two that Hollis has included in his uploads. This is our next entry point into this mystery. There's a lot to go over outside of that onion-looking symbol, and I will. But as frequently as it appeared, I suspect it's the most important item of the interest remaining. To any of the gracious people who have already helped decipher Hollis's codes, I would recommend you focus your efforts on this symbol above all else now. I have a lot of miscellaneous thoughts regarding other aspects of the videos, of course, but nothing is crystallized. In the future, I think I'm going to make a single video in which I comprehensively go over these notes. Well, on to next one.
Wow, I'm riding a bike. I don't know what I was so scared